Whenever we have a nested if statement, if else statement, where we are looking for a specific value, specific choices, and those choices are exact values, stored as exact values, which means they numbers, whole numbers, they letters, they are characters, right? So it cannot be a float or double because those are actually not stored exactly in the memory. So whenever it's exact value, then instead of using an if-else statement, we can actually use a switch. So this if statement is checking if there's the grade is equal to letter A, and if it is, it prints some value. If it's B, prints some other message. If it's C, another message. D, another message. And finally, anything other than A, B, C, and D, it will print this final message. So if I run this, since my grade is A, it's going to execute this statement right here, so it's going to have excellent job. If I put something else, such as F, it's going to execute this final statement, right? Because it's not A, B, C, or D, right? So that's how this if-else statement works. But we can rewrite it as a switch. So let's look at the switch. So I have it commented out. I'm going to uncomment it. So for each if statement that I was checking specific value, I can create now a case. So I have a switch expression. This expression again has to evaluate to an integer, a character, a letter, which is a character, a whole number. And then each case has that particular value that I was checking in the if statement. Then we have the colon, and then we have whatever the action we wanted to happen for that particular if statement. So I have, happen to be printing, right, these messages for each letter. Now I could have more than one statement. So I could have something else happen here, like another system out print or some calculation, whatever the case might be. So this is not, there's no restriction on having a single statement. But whenever you finish the statements, you want to have a break such that the Java comes out of the switch. So the break is going to break it out of the switch such that it's going to do whatever the next statement after this block is. Because right here is my block for switch, right? Now the default is equivalent to that final else we had, that if it doesn't match any of the cases, then it's going to execute that final whatever it might be. And again, it can be multiple statements, not just a single statement. And we don't need a break because when it reaches the end, it's going to come out of the switch anyway. So if I run this, and I have, let's say I have a letter B, just to have something different, I expect it to say great job, just like I had here, right? So it should go to the case B and print great job, and if I run it, in fact, that's what it executes.